Today, we are confronting a topic that we hear a lot about, which is benefit costs. And I'm joined by James McBride. He is the SVP of Credit Union Relationships. James, talk to me about what's happening right now in the industry in terms of these rising costs, what it means for employees, how it's impacting them, and then we can jump into how CU Benefit solves for that.
Sure. So I think it's important to note that what's happening inside the credit union industry is also happening nationally, right? So it's not something that's isolated just to our industry. But the problem that we have is that we've seen employer cost on employee benefits raise about 26% since COVID, right? So you're seeing this massive jump in cost. I've talked to credit unions all across the country. I've heard people tell me 41% in a single year. I've heard another company tell me 71%. And I'm thinking to myself, my gosh, how can you possibly pay for that?
That doesn't even sound real, does it?
It shouldn't be, but it's all based off of, how especially if you're over 100 lives, it's going to be dependent on how your organization performs. And then all the variables that are out there with the Affordable Care Act and what might happen with that, there's so much that's unknown there. But even if you're in those pockets, you're seeing those numbers skyrocket. And if the subsidies go away from that, boy, we got real problems coming.
So we've discussed this. These costs are rising, not just single digit. Oftentimes for many credit unions, this is a double digit rise year over year. So the problem is massive. Talk to me about how CU Benefit can help relieve credit unions with these benefit expenses.
Yeah, so I think the first thing is, like, when you think about from a global perspective, like we just talked about, that is what it is. But inside the credit union, where are you getting that kind of return, right? So if you're seeing an 8% increase on your cost, well, that's 35% probably of your overall expense relative to employees. So now your biggest line item, boy, it went up 8%. And that's not even accounting for what you're paying for, your compensation costs. So now you got to think about, oh boy, now how are we going to pay for this? And this is where CU Benefit really comes in, and for my money, saves the day. Because when you think about it, you go, well, how could we possibly get a return like that? Especially one with low risk. You think, well, credit unions go to lending. Let's go to lending and get more loans, get more return. Well, if you want to get to that 8, 9, 10%, 11% return kind of category, you're going to increase your risk, which is going to increase your accounting requirements. So there's all kinds of offsets there. What CU Benefit does is it gives you access to what would otherwise be impermissible investments that allow you to make investments in things that are going to return somewhere between 8, maybe even as much as 15 or 16%. And what it does is it puts you in a position now where you can pre-fund those increases. And so there's at least one client with CU Benefit that now doesn't even have to worry about the increase in their healthcare, because they've pre-funded it. They've done a good enough job getting ready for the future that now when that comes along, they're like, we're not passing anything on to the employees because we've already pre-funded it. We've already met that number. And by the way, it's completely legitimate to do, put completely above board with everything. It's the way the regulation is actually written. And it's just using it in a way that people haven't thought to use it before. And now all of a sudden, now you get this money that comes in, it's going to pre-fund your benefits cost. And so now you don't have to pass that on to your employees. So you don't have angry mamas and daddies and all the things about, boy, what's going to happen with daycare. And then the credit union looks like a hero.
James McBride, he's the SVP of Credit Union Relationships at CU Benefit. Also, too, we did another interview. We'll link that up for you as well. I think you should check that out. It's about talent acquisition and retention. If you want to learn more about CU Benefit, head to cubenefit.com. I'm sure when you contact them, James might just be the person that you are talking to. We will see you next time. Take care and bye-bye.